So I worked on putting all these minis together. Now, let me grab this one real quick. This one right here, its head had come off. It was one of the prepackaged ones that you can get from D&D Wizards for, I think that was a human druid female character. The head could come off along with the cape, so I glued that back on. And then I originally had the arm on this one glued on, but it came off when somebody dropped it. I probably didn't have enough glue on it at the time, so I just re-glued that back on. Then I put together the barbarian, who I also, there we go, on the back. Oh, you can't really see it too well. Let's turn it that way. There we go. There is a bow on his back. Now, obviously, because these things are so skinny and everything, trying to do a thin piece for string is not going to work. I'd have to actually take actual string. And then on top of that, with this one, I also added a crossbow to his waist for the druidy character. I know druids, I don't believe, can actually use crossbows, but whatever. And then this one is the fighter, who I have a great sword with. And I also gave him a bow with a quiver. So that's that one. And then these two were ones from a set. I finally got around to gluing their arms on. They are cultists. So they're baddies that the characters most likely fight. So that one's actually, this one right here, there we go, is looking like it's about to stab a victim or something for some sort of sacrifice. Now, this guy over here, he didn't come in pieces, but the little weapon he has here, the head of it broke off, so I re-glued that back on. And then the next thing I did, he fell over. Stay. Okay. The next thing I did was put this boat together. Now, this piece here, and let's do the other hand, and then this basket here aren't actually glued because they are socketed. So I was able to insert them without actually having to glue it. But the oars and these little fish, which are actually supposed to be loose, I glued in place. So that's that. And see, this is actually staying on there, as is this little basket. So that's fair. Then, now this one did not come in pieces, but I kind of glued it onto a base, just so you can get the actual size of the space it takes up with its body. And then the last thing I did, now I didn't put this one on a base yet, but I put together this guy. Huge dragon. Now, what I need to do, I'm going to try to do it hopefully sometime this week. Actually, I probably won't be able to do this week. I might have to do it next week. But you can see that there is like a seam right along where the wings are at. And there's several other spots that have seams like that. So what I'm going to have to do is take epoxy, putty epoxy, and morph it along the wings to smooth out those crevices and stuff. There's a bit of crevice on the neck of the dragon as well. And then a little bit on the tail to smooth that out. And then when I use it on the back to smooth out the pattern from it being printed, because all of these, except for the first one that I showed you with the cape, are all 3D printed by a friend of mine. And they actually turned out pretty nice. And the only thing I'm going to have to do is prep them for priming. There is some tutorial videos for doing that. So I'm going to have to take a look at that just to make sure I'm doing it right so I don't mess up the minis. But yeah, a nice dragon all put together. I believe that is a bronze dragon. I believe this one is a copper dragon. This one would take up a 3x3 square, and this one would take up a 4x4. So this one's considered huge, and in 5th edition, this one's called Gargantuan, also known as, I believe, Colossal in 3.5. Alright, and that's it.